Last year I had 65 head of horses here. This year I got 33. And it's all because people's not going to pay the bills if they can't. I've had several owners who tell me, you know what, Mike, we don't have to make any money. If they would pay their way, we would be satisfied with that. You know, most of them's retired. You know, we've got money to live off of. We just enjoy the sport. But I can't break even with them for the money that we're going for. So they said, well, you know, we're probably going to have to get out. And so they do.
In January of 2015, the Department of Agriculture, as they have for many, many years, published what they call a state guide, which shows the races that are going to be held in 2015 for the Illinois bred horses. Many of those raised right here at Walker Standardbreds. Well, then in March you make a stake payment. In April you make a stake payment for the state fairs at Springfield and DeQuoin, based upon the assumption that you're going to race for the purses like you have for the last 20 years. In the last few weeks, with the budget crisis the way it is here in Illinois, the horsemen have been notified that the purses here at Springfield and at DeQuoin will be about probably 20% of what they intended they were going to race for when they made the stake payments. When they bought the horses as yearlings, when they hired the trainers, when they put thousands of dollars into these horses based upon the assumption that the purses would be similar to what they have been in the last few years, and that's not the case this year.
And myself, as you know, not a wealthy individual, you try to make your business plans based on what the state has said. Here's what the playing field's going to be, and constantly in the middle of the game, they're changing the rules on us. And it's just, you know, as a kid that grew up in Williamsville, was running around this backside of this fairgrounds at 6, 7 years old, I don't want to go race in Ohio. But they're not giving me any choice at this point. And it's exceedingly frustrating.
How much has it changed, you know, in your own words, just from
Well,
15 years ago to now?
I got a 3-year-old Triton filly. She got 4 wins, I think like 2 seconds and a couple of thirds, and she probably got 3,500 on the card. And that horse probably would have made like 18 to 20,000 15 years ago. It wouldn't be as bad if the entry fees was cut. If you're cutting the purse, cut the entry fees, you know. But you still gotta pay 120. And like right now, if I race a horse and that horse get third, which everywhere you race at, that's a bold line. 1, 2, 3, that's a show. And that horse only might make $120 in the entry fee, $120 or $119. So that horse breaking even. Second place, you make a little money, but it's only $100. First place, you got to be first to even see any kind of come up.
Well, most of the guys started leaving about 7 years ago. It was when things started slacking up. You know, and again, the guys would say, well, you know, we're going to get out of here. This is going to get bad. Well, horsemen are not politicians. They're just horsemen. So we're saying, oh, it's, you know, it's not that bad. We'll stay another year. But it gets a little worse. Some more leave. And it just keeps going like that until where we're at today now. There's probably, well, for this fairgrounds, for an example, probably 6 years ago, there was 400 head, 500 head here. There's less than 125 head here right now in 5 years.
The fact is that you can't plan anything not knowing what's going on, and we really have to plan like 3 years ahead, and we haven't. We should be getting a new stallion because ours are getting old, and we should be selling off our low-end mares and adding better ones on top, which we haven't done for 3 years now. And when you look at what is the future, how much can you go out and invest thinking 3 years down the road, and it's impossible to realistically plan on making money the way the state of the industry is now.
Right.
You can't blame them for not breeding with the way the industry is, you know, because it's some of them are probably smarter than we are. They're breeding into Indiana, breeding out to states that have slots and have good purses. And we've been hanging in, waiting for the Illinois program to pop back. Maybe it will, and I'm still optimistic. I think the gaming bill is in the planning if they ever get the budget going.
Now, you've got all these people who put up their money to stake to these state fair races, came down here expecting to race for $40,000. Now on Friday, they're going to race in the 2-year-old divisions when they split for maybe $7,500. And then on Sunday, they're going to go to this sale and be asked to invest thousands more dollars in Illinois yearlings when they're, if they were lucky enough to have a champion on Friday, instead of $20,000 in their pocket to go reinvest, now they've got $3,700. This change is going to decimate Doc's sale, I fear. You know, again, myself, I can't honestly afford to buy an Illinois bred yearling under these circumstances, and that's killing me because this is the only place I want to race horses.
We were feeding 40,000 bales of hay a year. Well, there's a farmer that has to make that hay. We were feeding who knows how many tons of grain. And of course, that had to be grown. We had, well, we've got a resident veterinarian and 2 vets working here, you know, and right now, Doc mows because there certainly isn't enough work for 2 vets on this place. Plus, we always had a staff of, close to 20. And now our skeleton crew is about 12, isn't it? Yeah. So, So actually, the horseshoer would come twice a week. At this point, he comes once a week because we're not going to slight what's here. You know, we have not changed the way we operate at all because we're going to produce a quality product until we have to close the doors here. So, you know, it means a lot to a lot of people, really.